Ghana is likely to face as it pursues Russian national accused of recording and circulating sexual videos of Ghanaian women without their consent.
Also, the Tsar, death toll from the fire incident on the Nsawam-Adredri Highway increases to 6 as the National Fire Service releases preliminary investigations into possible cause of the explosion.
Also to come this hour, coalition of unpaid teachers in the northern region embark on a demonstration to demand payment of outstanding salaries. It's News Central, live on TV3. I'm Kemeni Amano.
And I am Mawina Egbeta. The bulletin starts right now. This afternoon, the government of Ghana, through the Cybersecurity Authority, is compiling a full docket to prosecute a Russian national accused of recording and circulating sexual videos involving Ghanaian women without their consent. Footage of the encounter was subsequently shared on social media, triggering widespread outrage and renewed calls for swift action against online sexual exploitation. Speaking to journalists over the weekend, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation Samuel Nate George said he had invited the Russian ambassador to discuss the alleged incident.
I caused the ministry to send an invitation to the Russian ambassador. I intend to see him this week and have a conversation with him. We're taking a very strong view of it. The individuals involved are not minors. None of them is a minor. They're grown-up adults who made decisions. What the Cybersecurity Authority is interested in, and my ministry is interested in, is not in the moral judgment of the individuals. It's in the non-consensual sharing of the videos that were posted online. That is a crime. It's not a crime to be able to convince a man or a woman to go into your room with you in 6 minutes. That's not a crime by the law. That's a personal decision to make. But it is a crime to record a person without their consent. And apart from, and even when you record and keep it on your phone, and the person finds out and reports to us, we'll prosecute you and you go to jail. That's the law of the land. Now, you don't just record it, but you go and post it on a website for financial gain. That gentleman will be looked for. We will activate every resource in our disposal, working with Interpol. The way we've worked with Interpol to extradite Ghanaians to other jurisdictions, we will request the Russian authorities, and that's why I've invited a Russian ambassador, to work with our law enforcement. We want the gentleman to come to Ghana, to be brought back to Ghana, extradited to Ghana, for him to face the rigors of our law. Ghanaian citizens, irrespective of their decision-making, will be protected by their government. The government of John Dramani Mahama will ensure that every citizen's rights are protected. And you cannot record a citizen without their consent and air that or post that online. That constitutes a crime under the Cyber Crime Offences Act, the Cyber Security Authority Act, CSA Act 1038 of Ghana, passed in 2020 by Parliament. So we will work on it. We're working on it. We'll be with my Lelu team at Cybersecurity is building a full docket. Whether we have the gentleman or not, I intend for us to file a full prosecution. We'll make a representation before the courts, try him in absentia, and get judgment if he fails to show up. But we will not let this go.
So that's the communications minister, and you may have heard him speak by and large to extradition, right? There will be efforts to seek to extradite this Russian national. It's raised quite curious questions from individuals as to whether or not extradition treaty exists between Ghana and Russia, and whether or not even it is possible to extradite Russian nationals per the dictate of their own constitution. And that's what we're going to be seeking to do, and seek to put or place this in a bit more context as to if there is that possibility to have this Russian national extradited into the country. And we've taken the pain to go through Russian constitution and exact portions of it that speak to the possibility of this and whether or not it can happen. And here's what it says with respect to extraditing Russian nationals. And Section 1 of Article 61 of the Russian Constitution, we need to make that very clear, explicitly states that a citizen of the Russian Federation may not be deported from the Russian Federation or extradited to another state. On matters of dual citizenship, their law says the law applies to Russian citizens even if they hold citizenship in another country. What are the alternative legal action per what it is that we've read that's readily available to us? While Russia will not extradite its own citizens per the statutes of their own constitution, they may choose to prosecute individuals who've committed crimes elsewhere and for which reason extradition attempts or efforts or processes have been kick-started. They may seek to do you that honest and prosecute the individual in Russia for you. But that's where it ends, really. Let's speak to a constitutional lawyer, John Kwesi, who, like many others, still believe the Ghanaian government can use other options to get the Russian national to account for his actions here in Ghana. I appreciate you, counsel, for speaking to us this afternoon. What really are the circumstances or the options available on the table for us here in Ghana and as well as Kenya, because we've seen excerpts of videos where he's been to Kenya as well, to bring this individual to book?
Okay, thank you. As you have rightly indicated in your preamble and in your opening statement, Russia has made it clear in their constitution. It's a constitutional provision. And usually, constitutional provisions are supreme, the highest law in every country. So if in their constitution it is provided or expressly stated that we as Russians, there is no day, morning, afternoon, evening, there is no circumstance, there's nothing that will compel or push us to extradite our citizen to another country. Now, what readily may be available for us, and on which course I will passionately appeal to our communication minister and our foreign affairs minister also, is that they are youngsters, very active, they need to be encouraged, they need to be motivated. But when it comes to issues about foreign countries, diplomacy is very, very key. All over the world, when issues happen, rarely will you see a foreign minister going public. Because diplomacy are affairs that are normally done in enclosures, in secrecy. They don't do it openly and publicly. When you do that, you kind of like infuriate or court displeasure from your side, even before that other country will come forward to respond to you. That said, like I'm saying, legally, if you want to go by the legal means, there's a 100% no for that because it is rightly enshrined in their constitution. And you can do research everywhere. Russia, I can never recall, whether in history or in recent times, when it became possible for them to kind of like disown their own citizens. If you recall, when you were doing the Kenofora trials analysis, I told you that in some ways, as if in recent times, only Ghana that is cited. When we hear that we have to extradite this, our foreign national, this Abutrikas and the rest.
Right.
But all over the world, the last resort is to ask one country to publicly disown their country. Extradition is a no. Right. Unless maybe on trivial matters or issue that they feel that, okay, when they do it, it will be of benefit to both countries. Rarely do people activate the concept of extradition?
Right, but Counsel, the question which is lingering is what legal cause of action is available if extradition is not possible?
I have said what my purpose is by diplomacy. And that is why I'm saying in diplomacy, you don't throw your weight about. Do you get it? Right. It doesn't have to be by law. Diplomacy is join, okay? Trying to appeal to the conscience, appeal to the assistance that you may want to receive from there. Otherwise, the other legal means available to us is within our own country. We can go to our court, traditional courts, try him in absentia, okay? Then we'll still have to come back to the diplomacy because the essence of any trial, criminal trial in Ghana to begin with, is to bring the gentleman into justice.
Right.
And then also, if we don't go by that, then we can also appeal to the Russian government that even if you will not bring him to Ghana,
deal with him
then
there.
Try him on our behalf. Try him in your country on our behalf. Right. And I think when it became necessary that Russia had to assist even the United Kingdom, they asked the United Kingdom that even though the issue has to do with murder case, murder is very dangerous compared to what we are even discussing. But Russia told UK in plain language, as far back as in told that no, we can never allow our citizens to leave our soil and then cross borders to UK. That brought very serious misunderstanding between the UK and then the Russians.
Right, rightly so.
That is their law. That is their law. So what they were willing to assist the UK government for peace to prevail is that the extent they could go is that, please tell us the crime he has committed, give us the evidence you have in your country, then we will use the Russian court system and try him. The UK felt they wouldn't get justice, so they didn't pursue the matter, and it ended there. So these are the available options that legally, if you still want to use the court system, we can use. Either we do it here, or we appeal to the Russians to do it over there, okay? But as to issue of bringing the physical human being into our country
that's
here,
not possible. I appreciate you speaking. Right, I appreciate you speaking to us, Mr. Kwesi.
Thank you.
That's John Kwesi, is a constitutional lawyer, and Kemeni, I mean, this is where we are. It looks like in terms of criminal prosecution, the individual may not return to the jurisdiction, as the Constitution of Russia is very explicit and it's quite clear. They do not extradite. And so it leaves us, like Mr. Kwesi says, diplomacy, and possibly he could be prosecuted there on the country's behalf.
Absolutely, especially when the material he shared is on the internet, and so it probably gives reason for Russian authorities to follow suit as well, or you know, when it comes to the crackdown on pornography.
Absolutely.
Right. Anyway, away from that, Moina, the coalition of unpaid teachers for the 2023 cohorts in the northern region have today embarked on a demonstration to demand urgent intervention regarding the Salaga issue in the issuance of staff IDs and salaries after several attempts proved futile. Of the 400 affected teachers, 250 of them are from the northern region. And according to the group, despite their dedicated service of over 25 months, they have not received any salary, which is affecting their livelihoods. Now, they are now demanding full payment of all outstanding arrears since assuming duty in 2023. So let's connect with Christopher Amwako, our regional correspondent on the story. Chris, what else can you report on this?
Yes, so Kemini, this is not the first time that this group is raising concerns about their unpaid salaries and their staff IDs. Now, last year, a similar demonstration took place. Just 2 weeks ago, there was a press conference by this same group calling on government, especially the education ministry, to ensure that they get their salaries 25 months arrears and also their staff IDs given to them. Unfortunately, that is yet to yield any positive results. And this group is saying that they are going to continue to be on government to ensure that the right things are done. For them, the decision by the Regional Directorate of Education not to make follow-up to the Education Ministry to ensure that their staff IDs and salaries are paid them is something that is worrying to them. They are also saying that they are legally, they were legally given their appointment letters, and that anyone who thinks that because there's change of government, they are not going to give them their staff ID and also ensure that they get their salary arrears is something that is worrying to them. Let's take a listen to what this group has been telling us.
Number GES/247/25/ED056 dated 5th March did not apply to us. Consequently, a precedent set by the GES headquarters through a letter dated 12 December 2025 with reference number GES/HQ/PR/25/115 for onboarding of the 2024 year group, where they were issued new appointment letters to facilitate a smoother onboarding process, could be adopted. We are willing to accept similar new appointment letters if it resolves the technical challenges preventing our staff ID generation. Our primary goal is the immediate generation of staff IDs and the payment of all outstanding arrears. It is deeply demoralizing that we, who assumed duty in 2023, remain unpaid while college teachers posted in 2024 and even recruits hired after the 7th December 2024 period have been fully processed and paid. Yes. In other regions, most of our 2023 colleagues have already received their salaries, leaving the Northern Region cohort uniquely disadvantaged. Recently, a few selected members of our group were given staff IDs and paid, yet the vast majority remain ignored without explanation. Yes. This selective treatment raises the question: if democracy is truly a government for the people, why are about 250 citizens in this region being treated with such neglect and lack of transparency? Honorable Minister, we have served the Ghana Education Service with dedication for over 25 months without financial remuneration. We humbly request that you, 1, liaise with the Minister of Education to ensure the immediate submission of our data for staff ID generation. 2, ensure the payment of all outstanding arrears owed since our assumption of duty in 2023. 3, correct the public narrative regarding the validity of our professional status. We count on your commitment to the welfare of the people of the Northern Region to resolve this matter with the urgency it deserves.
Christopher, as far as authorities are concerned, what have you heard?
Yes, so the Regional Directorate of Education has not given us any formal communication, but we understand that the group, their numbers were more than this, and some of them were actually attended to. And that is exactly what these people are saying, that they don't understand why a few of them will be selected and attended to. But the real issue is that the directorate is also saying that some of them, the appointment letters they are holding is not legal, and so they cannot address that particular matter for them. And so, as it stands now, the Education Directorate has been engaging these people. They have also submitted a petition to the regional minister, and the regional minister has given indication that they will follow up to know what exactly is the reasons why their staff IDs are not being generated for them and their salaries are not being paid them.
Currently, we are here at the regional minister's place to submit a petition to him concerning about our unpaid salary since 2020. Since 25 months now, we've been working no salaries, and the situation is not good for us at all, because our lives as now is at stake. Our borrowers, our lenders are attacking us for their repayments, and we can't pay them back. Some of us, we leave our villages and we were at where we were posted to teach, and paying rent And transportation altogether is not easy. Feeding with that salary for 25 months is not easy on our side. So we are pleading with authorities to intervene because we want them to pay us all the 25 months unpaid salary to us to solve our financially problems. So please, we are begging them. They should look into the matter with emergency because it's not easy as we are talking. We are pleading with them to do something for us. We are hoping to hear good news from them. Get to school, I'll have to drink water. I have to eat. I also have kids who are depending on me. I pay school fees. I prepare them for school. I need to get food for them to eat and eat well. So I've been suffering. My debtors are following me here and there. And up to now, still, nothing is being done about it. So we are here to plead on the regional minister to come to our aid. We are really suffering. He should help us.
Well, Christopher, we'll end it here for now. Thank you very much for the reporting. Away from that pressure group, the Catchment Area Community Alliance is calling for the immediate revocation of mining leases of Hell's Goldfields, the operator of Bogoso Presia mines. The group is also demanding urgent intervention from the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources and all relevant institutions, arguing that Hell's Goldfields lacks the financial capacity to operate the Bogoso Presia underground mine and has now resorted to surface mining, which poses serious safety and environmental risks to neighboring communities. Irama Smith has more.
At a news conference over the weekend, the Catchment Area Community Alliance, CACA, reiterated that it is not opposed to responsible mining or responsible investors, whether local or foreign. What it firmly opposes are empty promises, misrepresentations, and the entrusting of a strategic national asset to financially incapable entities. Speaking on behalf of the group, Bulekeshwan stated that the mining lease was granted based on assurances that Heath Goldfields Limited possessed strong financial backing, immediate access to over $500 million in capital, and the technical capacity to restart and sustainably operate the mine, particularly the Prestea underground operations. He also expressed deep concern over Heath Goldfields Limited's intention to conduct blasting operations in areas where the open pit is in close proximity to established townships like Bondi and Nakaba.
Under the Ghana Minerals and Mining Explosive Regulations, a minimum exclusion distance of 500 meters is required between blasting operations and occupied buildings. We call on all people to resist any unsafe blasting activity which exposes residents to unacceptable risks, including fly rock, ground vibration, air blast, and structural damage. We encourage Heath Goldfields to concentrate their energies into operationalizing the Prestea underground mine.
To verify the group's claim, the news team visited the alleged newly opened mining pit as mentioned earlier. On our way, we saw a signpost with blasting notification, though this is the only route linking Prestea, Bondi, and its surrounding communities with no alternative. Just behind the road lies the newly opened pit by Heath Goldfields, and directly behind it are mechanic shops and stores, also close to the mine's central shaft meant for emergency exit. According to the residents, they legally acquired the land from the chiefs. However, the occupants claim that Heath Goldfields has not engaged them on any proper arrangement with regards to the blasting. They said the company only informed them that they will evacuate them anytime they are about to blast and bring them back afterwards. The residents are not happy with this arrangement.
As you can see, I have goods in my shop. If they are damaged during the blasting, who will bear the cost? They are planned to evacuate us during the blasting and then have us return afterward. It's not acceptable.
We are appealing to the government to help us get compensation so we can leave.
I'm asking if there is an emergency on the other side of the community during the blasting, shouldn't they stop and wait?
Meanwhile, the company is yet to comment or issue any statement on the issue. Irama Smith, TV3 News, West.
Away from that, the National Communications Authority, the NCA, has announced sweeping reforms to the country's telecom sector, insisting on quality for the Ghanaian customer. In a statement taking immediate effect, the NCA directed all telecom operators to keep call drop rates below 1% and to ensure at least 95% call connection success and deliver an average of 3G download speeds above 1 megabyte per second. The directives tighten long-standing quality of service key performance indicators for mobile network operators, replacing standards that have been in place since 2004. Beyond the performance metrics, the NCA has also introduced expanded coverage obligations, where mobile operators are now mandatorily required to extend network coverage to all constituent towns within every MMDA. In the light of these directives, some Ghanaians have been sharing their thoughts on mobile network coverage and the quality here in the country. Here's what some of you in the capital have been telling us.
The network providers in Ghana, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would score them 6 because it's very bad. It's very bad, especially when we have adverse weather, and then sometimes there are no for communications to the users of these networks, and then you have interruptions in networks. Other times when you want to get e-cash for transactions, you are not able to do it, and then there are no upfront communication to us on how all this how do you call it, distortions in their services are being experienced by the end users. So for me, I think it's a very bad situation that needs to be improved.
Most of the time I have all the networks, yes. So depending on the area that I go, then I know that this is what I have to use. So I have to switch. If I'm using, like, if I go to the area, I have to switch to a different network because I know this area, this network doesn't work well, this one works better, and it's really affecting. They have to do something about it, and it's very important because even if you go and you don't have airtime but you have data and something happens to you, you can use your data to call, but without network at all, it's very dangerous for us.
I think there is more room for improvement, and what they can do more is to actually mount more network posts to meet the number of subscribers they have on their network, and I think that would be the best they can do. What government can do now is to up their regulatory game. Because what I can see now is because the network users are getting more and more, what the government can do now is to increase their regulatory policies and requirements.
The network in Ghana here, I would say, is very poor. Simply because if you want to get in touch with somebody who call, they will tell you the phone is off or out of service area. But the phone is not off. Moreover, if you want to go and cash or do Momo, they will tell you the network is not good. In fact, it's very, very heartening. It's very, very disturbing. So government should come in and see the people in charge of network to do something about it.
The scrap metal industry in Ghana is once again under public scrutiny as dealers in the Greater Accra region push for reforms to sanitize the operations and rebuild trusts with the wider society. In the Greater Accra region, industry players say stronger regulation and stakeholder engagement are key to ending accusations of theft while safeguarding thousands of livelihoods.
The Greater Accra Regional Scrap Dealers Association says it is concerned about the persistent accusations linking its members to theft of public metal infrastructure, including water meters belonging to the Ghana Water Limited, as well as guard rails, culvert coverings, street light poles, and telecommunication cables. According to the association, while some individuals within the trade have in the past been found culpable and jailed, the actions of a few should not define an entire sector that provides livelihoods for thousands.
Greater Accra here, the scrap dealers are so many, and most of them are not our members. You see, our people are those who are going with trucks, but those who are pushing the two-tied truck, they are not our people.
Some people even remove street light, and so far, poor people, it's our sensitization. Because maybe, sorry to say, the person who is just a pushing truck, buying anything on the street, he doesn't know what belongs to government or what belongs to PNT whatsoever.
In a bid to chart a new course, the association has held its maiden delegate conference, a significant milestone that brought together scrap dealers from across the region. The conference culminated in the election of a new regional chairman, Mohamed Swale, who together with other executives will steer the affairs of the association for the next 4 years. Association leaders say one of their immediate priorities is sustained engagement with key stakeholders, including state agencies and local authorities. They argue that many of the controversies surrounding the industry stem from a lack of clarity about which metallic products dealers are permitted to buy from the public.
I think we have to contact Ghana Police or water company or what do you call them, VRA. They should come and then educate us and our people what to buy and what not to buy, and what time to buy this, what time not to buy this, so that should in case a thing like that come up, they will resist from that.
Planned stakeholders dialogue, they say, will focus on educating members, strengthening internal controls, and promoting responsible sourcing of scrap materials. Beyond the economic value of the trade, the environmental cost of scrap activities remains a major concern. At Agbogbloshie, often described as the final resting place for unwanted metals, both educated and uneducated Ghanaians earn a living scavenging and processing scrap. However, crude metals used to extract copper from insulated wires, including open burning, release large volumes of carbon dioxide and other toxic gases into the atmosphere. Workers, many without any form of protective gear, are exposed daily to hazardous emissions at the decommissioned landfill site.
When you buy a car, a scrap car, and you remove these wires from the car, we don't have alternative. And I'm saying this, we don't have alternative than for you to burn it. Then you have your wire. Now, police will come and say, stop the wire, don't burn it. But if the person take it and put it under his pavilion, what he's going to do with it? And that one is in the estimate of buying the car. They brought a machine so that we will peel the wires, I mean the coat from the wire, and then leaving the wire alone. And when they brought the machine, the first very copper we put in the machine to do the processing of peeling the copper, I mean the coat from the massa, it is still in the machine. When we are done, I'll go and show it to you.
Despite these challenges, executives of the association insist they are determined to change the narrative. They warn that any proposed ban on the exportation of scrap metals could have dire consequences for the local industry, potentially rendering thousands jobless and worsening already fragile livelihoods. As calls for reform grow louder, the future of Ghana's scrap industry appears to hinge on effective regulation, stakeholder collaboration, and genuine commitment by operators to balance economic survival with environmental protection. The path forward, industry players admit, must be one that cleans up the trade without cutting off the livelihoods it sustains. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Agbogbloshie, Accra.
Now, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Group Chief Executive Officer of Media General have discussed matters of mutual interest with a view to positively transform society. Speaking during a courtesy call, Lieutenant General William Ejapong and Beatrice Ojiman underscored the importance of collaborative efforts between the media and security agencies to promote peace and security.
The Ghana Armed Forces (GAF) is constitutionally mandated to protect Ghana's territorial integrity. As a fourth estate, the media has an onerous responsibility to support the Ghana Armed Forces while impacting society. It is against this backdrop that a delegation from Ghana's leading multimedia platform paid a courtesy call on the office of the Chief of the Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces.
We are very much interested in effecting change in society. That is one of our core values impacting the community that we live in. And we know that we cannot do that alone. We need a lot of collaboration. We gather a lot of insights. And so on occasions where we know that we have erred, we try to make sure that those situations are corrected as soon as possible. All institutions are not perfect. We seek to work on them all the time.
The Chief of Defence Staff commended MG for building a formidable brand and stressed that the Ghana Armed Forces is committed to collaboration in furtherance of peace and security.
Let me also commend your network for the very good work. That's good. Because I think that together we are all looking at the same goal. Thank you for seeing us as one of your partners. So we are more than ready to collaborate anytime. Congratulations for the speedy growth with which you have been able to develop that network.
Madam Beatrice Ajaman reiterated Media General's commitment to deepen collaboration with the Public Relations Department of the Ghana Armed Forces.
We want a closer relationship with your PR unit also, so that as much as possible, if there's any issue, we'll reach out and we'll know how to manage any information that comes from the speaks going forward.
The delegation to the office of the Chief of the Staff included Nyama Ishen Famiye, Group Chief Operating Officer of Media General.
That will take us to our very first break here on the Bulletin. We'll return with a bit more stories for you. Stay with us.
Why are more and more professionals choosing Flamingo paint?
As an interior decorator, I aim for that beautiful, elegant look. Flamingo paint has great hiding ability to cover and transform old walls easily with just one coat.
Impressive. For me, as a professional painter, I love Flamingo paint because it's small paints that paint huge area, meaning more profit for
Welcome back. It's still News Central here on TV3. Now, the death toll from the fire incident on the Nsawama-Dwejiri Highway has increased to 6. Preliminary investigations by the Eastern Region Commander of the Ghana National Fire Service indicate that the explosion was triggered when some residents allegedly attempted to forcibly open the doors of the tanker involved in the accident. Regional Fire Commander ACFO Timothy Osafo Efum spoke to our correspondent Yvonne Nikwe.
So on the spot, when the incident happened, 3 people died. 10 were transported to the Kufudua Regional Hospital, and during the course of that, 3 others also gave up their lives, and so a total of 6 lives were lost. In all, 15 people were affected. 2 were treated and discharged, and the rest came to the regional hospital. As at this morning, 7 are still on admission receiving medical care. When a tanker falls, that is not the time to cash in, because in the first place, what you are doing is illegal. It is stealing, and so it's against the rules and laws.
Now, this afternoon, the Sofoline Underpass, once feared for its poor lighting and rising security concerns, is now experiencing renewed attention and hope for change following persistent reports by TV3 on the situation. For months, the underpass had become a hotspot for criminal activity due to the prolonged darkness, discouraging many pedestrians from using the facility. Ibrahim Abubakar has more in this report.
Reports of theft, attacks, and harassment had become common in the tunnel, forcing many pedestrians to risk crossing the busy Sofoline Ebuakwa Road instead of using the underpass. The tunnel, according to users, was a no-go area after dusk because of the darkness.
Mostly, if you pass here alone, unfortunately, you can meet robbers around and they will take your phone or something important to you. Yes, so that's why many people wouldn't like to pass here, because the place is dark.
About after 6 hours, who say be underpass here, be trash or be track wine. But the purpose is why they are quite zenka. Then I am far in track wine, then I be underpass. But as say, cameras are hanging in Yajuma, lights are hanging in Yajuma.
Moved by the growing danger, a group of development management students from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, as part of their social entrepreneurship and philanthropy projects, mobilized funds and installed lighting to restore visibility and safety in the tunnel. Today, the once dark passage is now brightly lit, giving pedestrians renewed confidence.
We thank you for acknowledging our problems here, and thank you for providing us with this light so at least we can see for the meantime, and then from time to time other lights will be fixed and we can move on. We can move through here safely.
First, we congratulate you for that initiative, at least illuminating the place and making it more safer. We hope to see that the light becomes more confused and people start patronizing this place because it's now more safer because of the light.
Many users say the intervention has transformed their daily commute and reduced fear, especially at night. For the students, the project is a demonstration of how young people can drive community change when they see a problem and take action. The Kwadaso Municipal Assembly has assured users that it will provide interim security to safeguard the tunnel while working toward a long-term solution to restore and fix solar lighting systems in all 7 tunnels.
We are putting in frantic effort to engage some people to manage or guide the.
With the lights now on, pedestrians are once again using the underpass freely, hopeful that this initiative will inspire both authorities and other young groups to take similar steps. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Kumasi.
Now, motorists and commuters flying the 67-kilometer Agunang-Kwanta to Takwa Road should brace themselves for massive traffic in the coming weeks as a contractor, Gabriel Kuto Rango Consortium, undertakes 6 months of repair and rehabilitation works on the stretch. Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Alhassan Suhaini, has commended the contractor for agreeing to undertake the rehabilitation works on the road at his own cost to correct the damages. Irama Smith has more.
Just months after its commissioning in the late 2024, the 67-kilometer Agunang-Kwanta to Taka Road is deteriorating, sparking public outcry and raising serious questions about its durability and the quality of materials used. But the contractor, Gabriel Kutorango Consortium, has attributed this to excessive overloading by heavy-duty trucks, specifically those carrying manganese and bauxite, rather than faulty construction work. Speaking at an Axle Control Forum in Takwa, the company's CEO, Theodore Adimazoya, outlined a plan to address the crisis. He announced that within the next month, the consortium will collaborate with the MTTD and other stakeholders to introduce traffic management measures. This initiative is a precursor to the commencement of 6 months of repair works on the damaged stretch.
So as road users on the corridor, we will encourage that the amount of speed at the current usage will have to reduce in order to give the working team enough time to manage most of the issues. That first phase of construction, which is the repair of the current pavement, will take about 6 months. We want to finish this before we get into the rainy season, which is the major rainy season in July, August.
He has also appealed to the Minister for Roads and Highways to consider the dualization of the 67-kilometer Agunang-Kwanta to Takwa Road to ease traffic congestion, as government has already commenced the dualization of the Accra to Agunang-Kwanta route. The Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways and Member of Parliament for Tamale North, Alhassan Saibu Suhini, said the technical assessment of the road indicates that it is subjected to more than 3 times the loading it was designed to carry, resulting in rapid structural failure, premature cracking and deformation of the pavement, and commended the contractor for agreeing to commence rehabilitation and repair works on the road to rectify the damages at its own cost.
It is not common practice for a contractor to undertake the rehabilitation of a failed road at their own cost. This decision reflects a profound sense of patriotism, professionalism, and corporate responsibility. It demonstrates confidence in Ghana's road sector and respect for the people who depend daily on this corridor.
Meanwhile, Western Regional Minister Joseph Nelson has stated that going forward, people should be held accountable. He has questioned why trucks continue to overload despite the presence of axle load weighing bridges on that stretch.
And I think that going forward, people should be held accountable for things that happen in this country that are not right. So we have staff there, the state pays them, and yet we have situations where trucks are overloaded. So they get their share of the responsibility, and then they have to account.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Takwa.
Now, authorities in the Seshiyoso municipality have stepped up road safety enforcement after new data showed an increase in road accident deaths, even though fewer crashes were recorded. The situation has raised concerns about the growing severity of road traffic accidents in the area. A report by Matthew Ahiave.
Task force comprising the National Road Safety Authority, Ghana Police Service, National Disaster Management Organization, and the Ghana National Fire Service has been deployed to major roads in the Seshiyoso municipality to strengthen road safety enforcement. The move follows recent statistics showing that although reported crashes declined from 294 in 2024 to 273 in 2025, fatalities rose from 81 to 92, with injuries also increasing, suggesting accidents are becoming more severe. Authorities say enhanced enforcement, improved emergency response, and intensified public education are being rolled out to reverse the trend and reduce the growing social impact of road crashes.
When we continue and look at the figures that we have recorded over the past years, as against the recent year that just passed, we've realized that we've been able to decrease the incidence of road crashes, especially the reported cases. Just last year, we were able to report 273, as against 294 of the previous 2024. But then what has happened is that there has been an increase in the number of people who were killed and those who were injured during this kind of crashes. So we had 92 people dying at the end of this year, whilst 81 people died at the end of 2024.
More than 71 out of the 92 recorded fatalities above 18 years were males, the majority of whom were married, a development with far-reaching social consequences, including a rise in widows and children growing up without fathers. Meanwhile, the Western North Regional Office of NADMO says the enforcement exercise will be sustained to help curb the growing trend.
We are not having so many accidents in the region. But now, the way we are experiencing road accidents, we have to come together as stakeholders and as a team to prevent the road accidents in our region. So this exercise will continue until we notice that the law is enforced.
The Ghana National Fire Service says the exercise is focused on prevention, educating motorists and motor riders on the importance of wearing proper safety gears to reduce road crash, injuries, and death.
A change to be in society, we have to engage in teaching, education, then you have to coerce the law. So we are doing this enforcement exercise in respect that the people here will be abreast with wearing of helmet, having extinguishers in their cars, whatever, so that in times of distress, they can rely on it. We are looking at seat belts and other things, the carnage on our roads. Most of our roads, wears have been put on it, making the roads narrower, which also is prone to accidents. So we're also removing all those things from the road.
Authorities
And that's our bulletin this afternoon, which came to you from our studios here on the John Hammond Street. I am Mawina.
And I am Kamini Amano. We are back here same time tomorrow. Next is the afternoon show. Bye-bye.